Heyo, and what's up, gang? Thank you once again for tuning back into the channel. Today we have more breaking news coming to us from the WWE as a wave of injuries has been sweeping through the roster. Last night's Monday Night Raw totally sucked. We have subscriber Q&A for the very first time on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, and today in pro wrestling history, and so much more to talk about right here and right now on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
So here we are again with some more breaking news coming to us, and this is the kind of news that I really don't enjoy talking about. Thank you once again, everybody, for tuning back into the channel. I am your host, Nick Nightmare. Welcome to the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show right here on Sledgehammer TV, only available on YouTube.com. And let's get into the meat and potatoes today. Following the recent injuries of guys like Rusev, Kofi, Kingston, and the Revival's Scott Dawson, the injury bug continues to bite the WWE right in the ass, as we have 3 more names to add to the DL list. And the first one, let's pull up my notes here. I'm not very happy about this one. Braun Strowman. Braun is not as invincible as he may be made out to be on television. Braun Strowman, the Brown Snowman, is scheduled to be out of action following tonight's Raw taping to undergo a minor procedure to fix some issues with his elbow. Sources tell us Strowman will be gone 4 to 8 weeks due to the undisclosed injury surgery, causing creative to retool plans. Oh boy. Get ready, everybody. Creative is going to be at it again. We got to retool the show. Our Braun Snowman is out. Oh, boy. Causing creative to retool plans for Extreme Rules and the horribly named Great Balls of Fire. Great idea, Mr. McMahon. 1955. The fuck out of here. Braun's character on TV is supposedly suffering from a torn rotator cuff, even though he's been wrestling Roman Reigns in street fights on the UK European tour, and his injury angle was furthered at the TV taping last night on Raw to officially give him time to get fixed up. Strowman came out in a sling to wrestle Callisto, which was absolutely ridiculous, by the way. I like Callisto's new mask, and I like that he's got some character now, and he don't want to be treated like garbage, and I get that. Nobody wants that, but how long do we have to put up with this? You're like 4'2" and going up against the giant, and I don't want to see that shit anymore. Anyway, but Reigns quickly interrupted, and the segment ended with Roman hitting Braun's arm with a steel chair on the steps. Sorry about that, as I am getting texted by my beautiful wife. Appropriate to have the Undertaker's gong going off as we're talking about Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. Anyway, let's move on. That shot that he gave him, by the way, on the steel steps, didn't really hit his arm as much as he really got him in the head. Go back and watch it if you got it. Go back, pause it, check it out. He gets clocked right in the back of the head by that chair. Roman really didn't get the steps as much as he should have gotten the steps, and he got mostly Strowman's head. Check it out and let me know if I'm crazy. You could leave a comment below if you think I'm wrong. The next injury to talk about is coming to us from the NXT roster, as there has been much speculation over the last few weeks that Ember Moon has injured her shoulder, and it is all but now confirmed that her shoulder is hurt, and the WWE reports that she'll no longer be wrestling at NXT TakeOver Chicago, which is a damn shame. There's no TakeOver Chicago for me. I'm out, says Ember Moon in a video posted by WWE Monday afternoon. WWE also reports that she sustained a grade 1 shoulder sprain. Rumors of Moon's injury began after the last set of NXT tapings when images of Moon in a sling emerged after she landed hard on the floor during an ambush from Asuka. However, this has been the first confirmation that she will be off the show and out for 5 weeks. Woo! Not too bad. It's going to be about a month, a little over a month, but, that should go by pretty quickly. Hopefully quicker than it really sounds. 5 weeks sounds like a long time, but it'll go by in a blink. No official word as to whether she'll be replaced in the upcoming match, or if it's now just a triple threat. As for Ember Moon, she remains hopeful. When I get back, I'm going to be better than ever, she says, and I quote. Tough deal for Ember Moon, man. I'm a big fan of Ember Moon. I love everything she brought to the NXT women's roster. She's obviously the only person that can contend with the likes of Asuka, and they seem to be building the angle beautifully, and it's coming together, and of course, as has been the trend lately, when things are starting to take a turn for the better or are looking to be on the right track at least, somebody gets hurt and throws everything completely out of whack. Another case in point to that very thing that I just said is Emma. Emma was checked out by WWE medical staff on Sunday after hurting her shoulder during a match. However, the severity of the injury is currently unclear. According to those in attendance, Emma looked to be in serious pain in her shoulder after taking a bump in the corner from Sasha Banks during a 6-woman tag team match. Things ended abruptly after that. She was helped to the back. Other sources tell doctors that checked out Emma's injury once she got backstage, but she'll need to wait on official word from their team before knowing how serious it might be. Emma tweeted on Monday morning saying that she's just a little unlucky, adding, "Thanks for all the messages and we're waiting to see what it is." This, again, is a very unfortunate thing. Here's somebody who they absolutely messed up with, and they made us wait for like 20 weeks, building up Emelina to come back in a character that the girl was adamantly vocal about that she didn't want to be doing this. She just wanted to go back to what she was doing because that seemed to be working. They wanted her to go and play this glamour girl angle, and the Emelina thing was born, and then for weeks and weeks they tortured us with this, and then finally they let her come out, and then she's like, oh, well, now you're going to have to wait for me to come back as Emma. And then she went away for a couple of more weeks, and then finally evil Emma came back, and I was very, very happy, and she brings a lot to the Raw Women's Division, and for her to be sidelined in any way right now is detrimental to the whole Raw Women's roster. They need Emma more than maybe anybody else because, yeah, they might not throw her right into the title picture. They might not even feature her in a main storyline, but the reason why they need her so badly is she can wrestle. Emma is probably one of the best wrestling talents in the women's division and will be able to bring out the best in these other girls. Her matches with Paige when she first started in NXT are something to really watch, and it was the thing that woke everybody up as to like, holy cow, women should be allowed to wrestle. Like, really wrestle, not just go out there and hit each other with pillows and take their clothes off, although I like women taking their clothes off, and I have no problems with that, but that is not the way to feature wrestling talent. Athletic women who want to compete. Sure, there are those women who don't mind being eye candy and want to be a Playboy centerfold and like to show their bodies like Eva Marie and the like, and those type of girls. But that time has come and gone. The Kelly Kellys and the Michelle McCools and all those girls from that time were caught in the middle of the transition, so they never really got featured properly at all. Which is why a lot of people are down on Michelle McCool. She was trying to be a wrestling girl in an age of the diva, and it just wasn't coming off properly. And the same could be said for Kelly Kelly. Everybody loved Kelly Kelly for her packaging, but her talent in the ring was not there. And yet she was still given championships and title reigns, and it soured some of the fans like myself on the character of Kelly Kelly. It just doesn't come off right. And to lose Emma at this point is just going to give us back this round robin, like, kind of, we're going to just keep seeing Nia and Alexa and Bayley. And I don't know, it's just, I thought she was going to play a tremendous part in the revival of the women's division. And it certainly was looking to be the case as they were starting to do 6-man tags. They were starting to formulate little cliques within the women's division. And you have the history between Emma and Dana Brooke. Although I don't even want to see Dana Brooke, there is that history there. And she may be able to help Dana Brooke. Although I don't think there is any help left for Dana Brooke. But the whole thing just speaks to everything that's going on Raw. Last night's Raw was absolute garbage. And why? Because everything is in a shambles. They don't know what to do. They came up with this angle for Braun to be written off. They have Emma not being on the show. And everything has to keep being changed on the fly. Now, granted, that's how they just conduct regular business anyway. Everything just keeps going on the fly. Every single Monday feels that way. Every Tuesday on SmackDown, it feels like they had a little bit more of a grasp on things and that they're not really coming up with shit last minute. But that's exactly how Raw feels every night. Like, why are they doing this? This doesn't make sense. We have Callisto still coming out and challenging Braun Strowman for respect over something that happened 3 weeks ago after he just nearly killed Roman Reigns twice. This little man wants to come out and challenge. It's just illogical. And it's asinine. The only thing worthy of even speaking about on Raw was the tag team turmoil match. I love these type of situations, and I think that both shows should have had these kind of things happening more often. Not that you could do the tag team turmoil every single week, but matches like that. There are a lot more than just fatal 4-ways and 8-man tags. Tag team turmoils and beat the clocks and things like that are another way to feature entire divisions in one match. When you only have 4 or 5 members of each division, you could do that with the women. You could do that especially with the tag. And they did it on Raw with the tag team turmoil for the number 1 contenders to see who will face Matt and Jeff Hardy, who are still not broken, by the way, but that's another news story for another day. And that was the best part of Raw. And Sheamus and Cesaro came out your winners, going through the entire Raw tag team roster. Not that it was that impressive. Enzo and Cass, Gallows and Anderson, and the Golden Truth all went down to Sheamus and Cesaro. Fantastic match, though. I really was into the match. Those guys put on a hell of a show. And then everything that led up to it before then and everything afterwards was just dreck. I found myself struggling to stay awake, struggling to feign interest in this show. Even the women's division and my Alexa Bliss, like that whole match with Mickie James was very sloppy, very spotty. They seemed very uncomfortable and almost like they didn't click, which doesn't make sense to me because they clicked much better on SmackDown, but for some reason they were just kind of off a half step. Even Bayley and Nia Jax doing their little things on the outside. Bayley hit the steps too quick. She had to wait for Nia to turn around. Like, there was just awkwardness in the women's match tonight. And I love Alexa, and I love Mickie, and I love Nia, and I'm alright with Bayley. But that match was not a good way to showcase our women tonight. And I was very disappointed in that match. Having The Miz and Dean Ambrose as the co-general managers was about as entertaining as peeling a bag of fucking potatoes, okay? It was just boring. It was just bah, 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 lunatic fringe, I'm the A-lister, get out of here. Where is Kurt Angle? How do you assign somebody a job to do this job, the Raw general manager, but he's not going to be there for half the dates. But Stephanie McMahon was able to be there every day. You know, Mick Foley was able to be there most of the time. You can't have the general manager not be a presence on the show. No, you have him calling Dean Ambrose. Kurt Angle's going to pick up his phone and call Dean Ambrose. And tell Dean Ambrose, hey Dean, I want you to run the show tonight. Does anybody in the fucking world think that Kurt Angle is going to call Dean Ambrose and leave him in charge? Out of every single wrestler on that roster, if he was even going to go for a wrestler, he's going to go to Dean Ambrose? Are you kidding me with that? And then, of course, we have to have, but the commission is still fucking around, and Stephanie McMahon, she calls The Miz. He made it Dean Ambrose. I'm going to counter with Dean Ambrose's upcoming opponent for the Intercontinental Championship, The Miz. Let's see them co-run Raw together. Are you kidding? This was an assault on my ears and eyes and brain because it just didn't make sense. It just sounded like blah, 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 blah. It didn't sound like anything worth even listening to. For some reason, The Miz on Monday Night Raw does not work. You put this exact same angle on SmackDown just a few months ago, and it kind of worked. For some reason, it's not working. And I don't know why. I'm very big on The Miz. It's not about him. It's just something is not right. And if it's the writing on Raw, and I don't know. It just, the whole thing, and making them GMs, awful. How about you have the GM be GM? Hey, here's an idea. Kurt Angle can't be on Raw because you're in fucking London, or whatever the reasoning is. How about we make use of our fucking studios and let's film some stuff? Let's get Kurt Angle in front of a fucking green screen and film him putting the show together. Who the hell knows he's not backstage? You don't know that. I don't fucking know that until you tell us, well, Kurt Angle's not here tonight. Why can't they go to the damn studios in fucking Connecticut and film some GM segments? Have him interact with Dean Ambrose and The Miz in the fucking studio and fucking edit it into the show. It wasn't a live show anyway. Excuse me. And that's all we're going to say about Monday Night Raw. Do you see what it does? Do you see what it does to me? My face is probably as red as the Raw logo. And now I've hurt my throat. But we're going to get through the rest of this, and we're going to calm it down. Holy cow. That's a historic moment, everybody. That is the first time I've ever truly gone off on this show. And I hope you enjoyed that, because I certainly did. It felt good. It felt good to get all that off my chest, man. Because you're a damn company that makes television. How do you not think this way? Jesus Christ. Film it. Edit it. Put it in the show. God damn it. You could even get away with that if it was a live show. Let's not get back into it. Maybe we'll do that on another show for another day. So that was my thoughts on Monday Night Raw. Everything else didn't matter. The main event didn't matter. Nothing mattered. So we're going to go on to another segment that I am just going to get started on. And I think I want to do this more and more, but this actually depends on you guys. So don't forget, if you're enjoying the show, to hit that like button and to subscribe if you are not a subscriber already. Because if you're a subscriber and you hit me up with a question down below in the comments, you just might be featured right here on one of our shows. And we have a question coming to us. It was posed to me in the comments on my last video. And as I was formulating my response to my subscriber, I said, you know what? This would be a great little segment for the show. So I'm going to do this for you right now. Courtesy of my subscriber, one of my first and earliest subscribers, Mr. Ronnie S. Shout out to you, bud. He hit up the comment section and asks, do you think Titus ONeil can make Apollo Crews great again. Now, you may be wondering why I would feature such a question about such a stupid superstar that nobody likes on this show. But the fact of the matter is, that is a very interesting question. And it poses a lot of crazy answers. But I'm going to give you mine. And surprising enough, I actually do think that Titus ONeil can make Darren Young. Oh, shit. I knew that was going to happen. I was trying not to make that happen. Titus ONeil can make Apollo Crews great. And I'll tell you why. Because nobody likes Titus ONeil. I don't like him. I know you don't like him. So, he keeps latching himself on to Apollo Crews, right? And Apollo Crews is noticeably kind of standoffish about it. He's put off by it. He's like, bro, like, why are you taking selfies with me? He looks confused in the picture. He's not happy about it. Titus wants him to be part of the Titus brand, which nobody wants to be part of. And I get it. And it's mildly interesting. And the reason why it's mildly interesting is because this might finally be the thing, if it's handled correctly and written properly, that could put Apollo Crews over the edge. He's been stuck since even while he was in NXT, he has this persona of smiley guy, smiley happy guy. And we've all seen this before. The Rock came out with his little flippy hair, and he was smiley guy and his little blue fringes, and he came out, and yay, I'm a wrestler, everybody, hey, how are you doing? I love you, hi, let me kiss the baby, oh, shake your hair, hey, I'm a wrestler, hooray! That's the face of Apollo Crews. Big old handsome smile, chiseled body of a god, strength beyond compare, agility, quickness, like a cat. But he's just so, hooray, smile, hi everybody, I'm good, I'm good, hey. That shit didn't play in 1997, 96, and it certainly does not play 20 plus years later. So this angle with Titus ONeil might actually light a fire in Apollo Crews' ass, and we could see him actually get mad. Titus ONeil just might be the straw to break the back of Apollo Crews and just say, get away from me, and let him just ooze out. Because, you know, everybody's answer to how to cure a babyface guy is turn him heel. Well, guess what, morons? Not everybody can be heel. We need good guys, but we need face talents that aren't overly generic and aren't overly happy, because nobody lives like that. Unless you're Diamond Dallas Page or Richard Simmons, you don't live your life all happy and, yeah, I'm so happy. No. Have something to say. Be like Bret Hart. Bret Hart, I don't think ever even fucking cracked a smile. He was one of the biggest good guys in the world. All over the world, not even just in the States. He came out, he told you, I'm the best there is, I'm the best there was, I'm the best there ever will be. And he did it in the ring and he proved it. And he brought himself to world titles, intercontinental championships, part of a world famous tag team that won multiple tag team championships. This is how you build performers. So put Titus ONeil with Apollo Crews. Make them a tag team. Make him get under his skin. And finally make Apollo snap and be like, you know what, bro? This ain't working. I'm going to go do my own thing. We will see a character come out. He can flourish. He could finally generate something within himself and create catchphrases and taglines and let the people know who he is inside. And don't tell me he's just this happy little go-lucky Georgia guy, or wherever. I'm pretty sure he's from Atlanta, Georgia. If I'm incorrect, I apologize. But there's always another side. You know, you could go out and show the world your happy face, but there's always something underneath that you want to get out. What is it? What is it that's in there that needs to burst out? I think Titus ONeil just might be the key to letting it explode. Because he gets underneath our skin each and every time we see his dog face on our screens. And we hear the hurrah, hurrah, hurrah. And we just want to go, oh, this guy again. If he's not with Darren Young in the Primetime Players, which I heavily enjoyed, and was the only thing Titus ONeil ever did that I enjoyed, then there's no reason for Titus ONeil. So pair him with Apollo Cruz if you're not going to give him Darren Young. And let Apollo get the rub. Use Titus as the enhancement talent that he is. He's not the main eventer just because he's Dad of the Year or whatever. And I'm pretty sure that whatever it is that's going on with him and the swerved camera guy is just going to be swept under the rug. WWE's not going to give two shits about this. They got Titus on their agenda just like Roman and Charlotte. And they got a list of these people, JBL, Mark Henry, that are just lifers. I feel like he's one of them. And that's going to be the way it is with that. So I do think Apollo Cruz can be great. And yes, Ronnie, I think Titus ONeil can help that. But not in the way you may have been thinking. Not by being in the Titus brand and actually making him great, but by making him just so absolutely beside himself that he breaks out of this happy-go-lucky shell and becomes a little bit of a more edgy and, grounded kind of Apollo Cruz that you don't really want to mess with. That's what I'd like to see out of him. And finally today, our newest segment, Today in Pro Wrestling History. And you know what? Today does not have a lot of great history to it, as far as I've been looking. And today's fact comes to us courtesy of Cage Side Seats. Was the only thing of interest that I saw in the list of things that happened today. 18 years ago today, I was a spry 22, 23-year-old young man, and the WCW presented Slamboree from the Trans World Dome in St. Louis, Missouri. 20,516 were in attendance, with 195,000 homes watching on pay-per-view, of which I was one of. That was down, though, from 275,000 from the previous Slamboree. In a pre-show dark match, Dale Torborg, who nobody remembers, defeated Johnny Swinger, who nobody remembers. Raven! Oh my god, what's wrong with me? Raven! What the fuck? I'm leaving it in. I'm not going to edit this shit because stuff happens. You guys read, don't you? You read things and sometimes it comes out wrong. You try reading aloud. Let me see how good you do. Where's your show? Shut up. Don't have nothing to say about me. Raven. I'll make fun of myself. You don't even got to make fun of me, you bastards. Hit that subscribe button and thumbs up. That's all you got to do. Let's try that again. Boop. Raven and Saturn defeated Rey Mysterio Jr. and Billy Kidman and Dean Malenko and Chris Benoit in a triangle tag match to win the WCW World Tag Team Championship. Conan defeated Stevie Ray. Bam Bam Bigelow defeated Brian Knobbs in a hardcore match. That must have been epic. Rick Steiner defeated Booker T to win the WCW World Television Championship. Tough night for Harlem Heat. Both of them going down to guys that they definitely shouldn't have freaking lost to. Gorgeous George defeated Charles Robinson. Gorgeous George was not a man. For those of you that don't know, Gorgeous George was one of the Macho Man Randy Savage's valets and was at the time his girlfriend. And I don't remember why this was about. I'm going to have to go back and check it out. It's actually not worth my time. I'm not going to do that. And Gorgeous George, the lady, defeated Charles Robinson, Lil Nate, Mini Nate, the referee, for some god-awful reason, I'm sure. Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pump is your hookup. Holla if you hear me. Defeated Buff Daddy, Buff Bagwell, The stuff of shit is what I'd like to fucking call him. Scott Steiner defeated Buff Bagwell to retain the United States Championship. The United States Championship. Can you imagine? Ugh. You don't have to imagine. This actually happened. Reading it makes me wonder why I don't remember a lot of WCW, and my mind's probably just blocked it out for reasons like that. Buff Bagwell even getting a shot at the United States Championship is a goddamn travesty. Absolute travesty. Roddy Piper defeated Ric Flair by disqualification. Sting fought Bill Goldberg to a no contest. I don't remember that either. And in your main event of the evening, Kevin Nash, Mr. Too Sweet, who I just met a couple of weeks ago, defeated DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, who we were just talking about, smiley happy guy, to win the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. And in an interesting bit of trivia, Kevin Nash holds the title for 9 weeks after this win, becoming the second longest reigning WCW World Heavyweight Champion, only behind, guess who? Hollywood Hogan, who held it for 10 weeks. So, there you go. Today in wrestling history, not a great day. Not a great day, by any means. We had a B-level mediocre pay-per-view by WCW as it was heading towards its finish line. And I'm glad I don't remember it. And reading it now makes me wish I didn't. I didn't read this because now my curiosity has been piqued. And I want to go back and watch this ridiculous card, as bad as it may be. Thank you so much, everybody, for enduring this very special breaking news as we went off on a fucking epic rant that I don't even know what I said anymore just now. I got to go back and watch it because I have no idea what set me off, how I got there. You guys hit me up in the comments. Leave your questions if you would like to be featured and considered to be answered live right here on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Fill that comment section below with questions, and I will pick the best one and answer it on the very next show. I am your host, Nick Nightmare. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to check out the audio shows on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Podbean. For Blue, the Snowball Microphone. Thank you guys all for joining us once again, and we are out of here, and we'll see you next time.